The galaxy was at war. A vast, chaotic conflict engulfed countless systems, drawing species from the farthest corners of space into an ever-widening spiral of destruction. Alliances formed and crumbled, entire fleets obliterated, planets rendered lifeless in the wake of advanced weaponry. Alien races, each with their own technological marvels, vied for dominance. They had fought among themselves for millennia, but now, a new factor had entered the equation, a force none of them truly understood. Humanity. A race that had only recently become known to the galaxy at large, was viewed as a minor player at first. Yet, in a remarkably short time, they had earned a reputation that even the most ancient civilizations respected and feared. The aliens had underestimated them, as many did with newcomers, thinking their fleets and armies would fall quickly in this war. But humanity brought something different, something insidious. It wasn't their technology that made them dangerous, though it was formidable enough. It wasn't their numbers, as they were significantly outmatched by most other species. It was something far more subtle, something that became a whispered terror among the alien ranks: human snipers. To the alien soldiers, the very mention of a human sniper caused a wave of dread. They were called ghosts by the Etrovics, death from the shadows by the Zenthari. The names differed across cultures, but the fear was always the same. These snipers were never seen, never heard. They could kill from unimaginable distances, picking off high-ranking officers, engineers, and critical personnel with single, calculated shots. By the time anyone realized what was happening, it was too late. The damage was done. In an alien encampment on the war-torn planet of Zephyr 9, a squad of soldiers prepared for an upcoming battle, their bodies encased in gleaming armor, their weapons humming with alien energy. But the usual bravado of war was absent. Muted conversations hummed in hushed tones, tension thick in the air. They had heard rumors that sent shivers down the spine even of seasoned veterans. They might be facing humans in this battle. Worse, there were whispers of a sniper sighting one of them. The captain, an imposing figure with cybernetic enhancements grafted to his body, barked orders to the troops. Yet even his augmented voice could not fully dispel the anxiety that hung over them. His soldiers exchanged uneasy glances. In the galaxy's countless wars, they had faced plasma barrages, energy cannons, and entire legions of combat droids. But nothing was as terrifying as the idea of being taken down by a single shot from an unseen human sniper. "What do we know about them?" a soldier asked, his voice trembling slightly. "They're human," the captain replied, his metallic gaze scanning the horizon. "That's all you need to know. And if one's out there, it's already too late." The squad fell silent, each alien looking toward the barren, rocky landscape that stretched out before them, a wasteland ravaged by war. Somewhere out there, far beyond the range of their scanners, beyond even their enhanced vision, a sniper could be watching. They had no way of knowing. Their sophisticated technology, advanced thermal optics, motion sensors, was useless against the sheer discipline and cunning of a human sniper. The humans didn't rely on the same brute force tactics as other species. They didn't march in with overwhelming firepower, announcing their presence with flashing weapons and roaring engines. No, they slipped into the cracks, they waited. Days, weeks, sometimes longer. And when the time came, a single shot would change the course of a battle. A chilling wind swept through the camp, carrying with it the unmistakable tension of impending death. A high-ranking officer among them tried to appear indifferent, but even he couldn't hide the unease behind his stoic mask. It wasn't just the threat of death, it was the uncertainty. No one knew when or where a sniper would strike. The idea that you could be targeted without warning, without ever seeing your killer, gnawed at the minds of the aliens. As the soldiers prepared to move out, a strange silence fell across the camp. One that wasn't from their own unease, but from something more deliberate. The rocks, the wind, the very air seemed to hold its breath. High above, nestled in the craggy cliffs miles away, a lone figure lay motionless, concealed within the terrain. Hidden. Patient. Watching. The aliens below had no idea how close death truly was. Human snipers are more than just sharpshooters, they are masters of an art that few across the galaxy can comprehend. The training begins long before they touch a rifle. It's a grueling process, breaking down the mind and body only to rebuild them into a precision machine capable of extreme patience and calculated lethality. Unlike other soldiers, snipers don't operate within the usual constraints of military hierarchy. They function alone or in small teams, often behind enemy lines, cut off from support for days, weeks, or longer. They are trained to be self-sufficient, to blend into their environment so completely that they become invisible to the enemy, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. The physical endurance required to be a sniper is unparalleled. They are conditioned to remain motionless for hours, sometimes days, camouflaged in a way that no alien technology can detect. They learn to control their breathing, to remain calm even in the most tense and dangerous situations. But it's not just about physical toughness, it's about mastering the mind. Snipers are taught how to handle isolation, the crushing silence, and the pressure of knowing that one mistake could mean death. They train to think steps ahead, to plan their actions like a game of chess, anticipating the moves of their enemy long before they happen. Their tools are an extension of themselves. Each sniper rifle is meticulously calibrated for accuracy over vast distances. They calculate everything: bullet drop, atmospheric conditions, gravitational variances, even planetary rotation. On a world with heavier gravity, a shot will curve more sharply, requiring a precise adjustment to hit the target. In thinner atmospheres, bullets travel faster, reducing the margin for error. The variables are endless, and the sniper accounts for each one, turning every shot into a near-perfect science. In stark contrast, alien species often rely on brute force or advanced targeting systems, trusting their technology to do the thinking for them. Psychic powers are another common crutch, but they are predictable. They require a direct line of sight or a clear path, whereas a human sniper can work entirely out of view. Aliens may deploy entire battalions with drones and energy shields, expecting overwhelming firepower to win the day. Yet all it takes is one human sniper, lying in wait, to dismantle their strategy. The difference lies in adaptability. Alien tactics are rigid, following set patterns dictated by their advanced tech. Humans, by contrast, are unpredictable, constantly adjusting to their environment. What truly sets human snipers apart is their psychological warfare. Each shot is carefully chosen, not just to eliminate a target, but to send a message. They don't waste ammunition on foot soldiers unless it serves a purpose. Instead, they pick off officers, medics, and key personnel, slowly dismantling the enemy's command structure. One by one, critical figures fall, each shot creating a ripple effect of panic and confusion. The longer the sniper remains undetected, the more the paranoia grows. Entire battalions have been known to halt their advance, frozen in fear, unsure where the next shot will come from. The sniper's greatest weapon isn't the rifle, it's fear. Alien forces are not used to this kind of warfare. Their technology, no matter how advanced, cannot detect the subtlety of a sniper's tactics. They are accustomed to straightforward battles, where the enemy is visible, tangible. But human snipers are ghosts, phantoms lurking in the periphery. By the time the aliens realize they are being hunted, it's already too late. One shot is all it takes to collapse morale. Soldiers begin to distrust their own equipment, questioning whether their shields can truly protect them. Panic spreads like wildfire. A single human sniper can alter the course of an entire battle without ever revealing their presence. They don't need to take out 100 enemies, they only need to take out the right one. And when that moment comes, when the shot finally echoes across the battlefield, the enemy knows they've already lost control. The sniper's mastery isn't just in their aim, but in the psychological breakdown they cause, slowly, methodically dismantling the enemy from the inside out. The alien forces moved with confidence, their gleaming armor reflecting the barren landscape as they advanced. Their commanders had assured them that this was a strategic stronghold, easily defensible with their superior technology. With shielded drones overhead and advanced targeting systems in place, they marched forward without fear. To them, humans were an afterthought, a primitive species relying on outdated weapons and crude tactics. This planet was just another victory waiting to be claimed. But arrogance is a dangerous companion. Unseen by any of their sophisticated scanning equipment, far beyond their range of detection, a human sniper lay in perfect stillness. Hidden within the rugged terrain, patiently watching, waiting. The aliens had no idea they were already under surveillance, that their every movement had been calculated and accounted for. This was the difference between their technological hubris and the human sniper's mastery. While they relied on machines, the sniper relied on instincts, skill, and experience. The lead alien commander, towering over his subordinates, surveyed the horizon, unaware of the crosshairs that had already locked onto him. He was a high-ranking officer, crucial to the enemy's command structure, and his importance made him the perfect target. The sniper knew that this one shot could change the course of the battle. Everything had been prepared in advance: wind speed, planetary rotation, gravitational pull, even the slight shift in temperature as dusk settled in. All variables accounted for, leaving nothing to chance. The sniper's finger rested gently on the trigger, heart rate steady, breath slow and controlled. There was no rush, no tension, only the calm focus of someone who had done this countless times before. In a fraction of a second, the trigger was pulled, and the bullet left the barrel at speeds imperceptible to the naked eye. It traveled miles across the battlefield, cutting through the air in eerie silence. There was no warning, no sound. Then, it hit. The commander's helmet shattered as the bullet pierced through, his body collapsing to the ground in an instant. For a brief moment, the alien soldiers around him froze, unsure of what had just happened. Their commander was dead before he even knew he had been targeted. Shock spread like a virus. In the next few seconds, confusion rippled through their ranks. This was not a typical death on the battlefield, this was something else, something they hadn't prepared for. Panic began to settle in. The chain of command had been severed, and with it, the certainty of their technological dominance. Communication lines faltered as soldiers scrambled to take over, but it was too late. The damage was done. The human sniper had already shifted position, disappearing back into the landscape, invisible once more. The aliens had no idea where the shot had come from, and worse, they had no idea when or where the next one would strike. Another shot rang out. This time, it was the communications officer, a key figure in coordinating the ground forces with the orbital fleet. His death threw the alien soldiers into deeper disarray. Their advanced targeting systems meant nothing if they couldn't communicate with each other, and now, the one person who could restore order was gone. The soldiers began looking around frantically, their eyes scanning the horizon, but they saw nothing. No movement. No sign of their attacker. One by one, more officers fell. Not in rapid succession, but spaced out, deliberately timed to maximize the chaos. Each shot was precise, calculated to remove leadership and cripple morale. And with each death, the fear grew. They had thought this battle would be a simple show of force, but now they were faced with an enemy they couldn't even see. As the ranks thinned, and confusion turned to desperation, the retreat began. It wasn't a coordinated withdrawal, it was a frantic scramble to get out of range, to escape the invisible hand of death that seemed to reach out from nowhere. Soldiers stumbled over each other, abandoning their positions, their advanced technology now useless in the face of a foe they could neither detect nor defend against. By the time the sniper moved to their final position, the battlefield was nearly empty. The remaining high-ranking aliens, those who had once led with confidence and pride, now cowered behind their troops, eyes darting in every direction. They had learned what the galaxy already whispered: the human sniper was not just a soldier, but a force of nature, and they were powerless against it. The sniper didn't need to pursue them. The terror they had sown would do the work for them. The aliens would leave, broken and scattered, haunted by the knowledge that a single human, with a single rifle, had brought them to their knees. Desperation clawed at the alien commanders. Their forces had been torn apart, not by an army, but by a single human sniper. The humiliation was unbearable, and worse still, they were losing control of their soldiers. But this wasn't a battle they could afford to lose, not here, not now. They had to regain the upper hand. Their decision to strike back came swiftly. Advanced heat-seeking drones were launched into the sky, buzzing with mechanical precision, scanning for any trace of the sniper. These drones were equipped with the most advanced sensor arrays the aliens had, thermal imaging, electromagnetic pulse detection, and even psychic trackers to sniff out human thought patterns. They were sure that no human, no matter how skilled, could remain hidden under such a sophisticated net. In command tents and orbital ships above, alien generals watched through their holoscreens, tracking the drones as they scoured the battlefield. They were confident this would be enough. It had to be. Their technology had always given them superiority, and now, they were deploying the very best of it. As the drones swept across the landscape, the alien soldiers below anxiously awaited confirmation that the sniper was found. After all, no one could stay invisible forever, not with the entire arsenal of alien tech bearing down on them. But the human sniper had anticipated this. Even before the aliens launched their drones, the sniper had already prepared. They knew how predictable alien tactics could be, relying on technology without fully understanding the limits of it. The sniper was always one step ahead. Cloaked in thermal camouflage, they blended seamlessly into the environment. The heat-seeking sensors passed right over them, unable to distinguish the sniper's body from the rocks and dust around them. Electronic warfare was another layer of their defense. Small, portable jamming devices disrupted the drone's signals, sending them in circles, chasing phantom heat signatures and false readings. The sniper didn't need to fire a single shot to confuse the alien tech. The terrain itself became a weapon, with the sniper exploiting every ridge, every shadow to evade detection. The rocky landscape, riddled with narrow crevices and natural overhangs, provided perfect cover. The drones, programmed to follow their straight-line algorithms, simply couldn't adapt to the complex terrain in the way the sniper could. And then, when the drones moved on, leaving their search area, the sniper struck again. This time, it was a strategic officer in charge of coordinating the drone strikes. Another precise shot, and the officer crumpled. Alien soldiers began to scatter, unable to process how their best technology had failed them so completely. Fear took hold once again. The sniper was still out there, somewhere, always watching, always ready. As the aliens tried to regroup, their numbers continued to thin. Soldiers were picked off, one by one, with deadly precision. The sniper wasn't just taking lives, they were dismantling the aliens' confidence, turning every piece of their advanced technology against them. The drones, once a symbol of their superiority, were now useless, scanning empty fields while their troops fell to unseen strikes. The panic spread rapidly. Some alien soldiers began abandoning their posts, breaking rank as their fear of the sniper overwhelmed their orders. They questioned everything. Why had their leadership put them in this position? Why were they fighting a war against a species that used such terrifying tactics? Some whispered amongst themselves, wondering if it was even worth continuing to fight the humans. Every death felt personal, a calculated blow to their morale, as if the sniper knew exactly when and where to hit. Commanders barked orders to hold the line, to regroup, but the chaos only deepened. The remaining officers were overwhelmed by the disarray in their ranks, and it became clear that even their advanced technology couldn't save them from the psychological warfare the sniper was waging. The battlefield had turned into a nightmare, not of lasers and explosions, but of silent, calculated death from the shadows. As the alien forces began to pull back, their movements grew more frantic, more disorganized. They had thrown everything they had at the sniper, heat-seeking drones, psychic trackers, advanced tactical algorithms, yet nothing had worked. No matter how hard they tried, no matter how much tech they deployed, the sniper was always beyond their reach. The very ground they stood on felt hostile, as if the planet itself had turned against them. With every retreating step, the aliens realized that this was no ordinary war. They weren't facing an enemy they could overpower with brute force or superior technology. They were up against something far more dangerous, a human who had mastered not just the battlefield, but the fear that came with it. The last alien commander stood amidst the wreckage of what had once been a proud, unstoppable force. His troops, what little remained, were scattered and demoralized. Every attempt to crush the human sniper had failed, and now, with most of their leadership wiped out, he alone bore the weight of their humiliation. But surrender wasn't an option. He couldn't return to his people with tales of defeat at the hands of a single human. That shame was too great to bear. With grim determination, he rallied his remaining soldiers. They were few, but enough to launch one final, desperate charge. If they could just find the sniper's position, overwhelm them with sheer numbers, they could turn the tide. His troops hesitated, their fear evident, but he pushed them forward. He led from the front, knowing that victory was their only path to redemption. The march toward the sniper's last known position was tense, every step heavy with dread. The commander's eyes scanned the horizon, searching for any movement, any hint of where the sniper might be lying in wait. His advanced technology had failed him before, but now, it was all he had left. He trusted his scanners to pick up any trace of the human, though deep down, he knew that wouldn't be enough. Still, pride and desperation drove him on. The battlefield had grown unnervingly quiet. It was a silence that screamed of imminent danger, the kind that made every soldier question whether they were walking into a trap. And they were. The sniper had already anticipated this move. They had repositioned, carefully calculating the exact moment and the alien forces would attempt their final stand. The commander didn't know it yet, but his fate was sealed long before he made this desperate decision. The sniper lay hidden, rifle in hand, breathing slow and steady. Their sights were already locked onto the alien commander. It was a perfect shot, a culmination of everything they had trained for, the patience, the precision, the understanding of their enemy's psychology. The sniper didn't pull the trigger immediately. They waited, letting the tension build, allowing the aliens to believe they might have a chance. It was psychological warfare at its finest. The longer they waited, the more the fear gnawed at the aliens, undermining their resolve. And then, the moment came. In the span of a heartbeat, the sniper squeezed the trigger. The shot rang out, shattering the silence, and the commander's body crumpled to the ground, lifeless. His soldiers froze, the impact of what had just happened sinking in. Their leader, their last hope of turning the tide, was gone. There was no more fight left in them. The sniper's final blow wasn't just physical, it was psychological. With the commander dead, the remaining alien soldiers knew they had no chance. Panic spread through their ranks once again, but this time, there was no regrouping, no rallying cry to follow. The alien forces broke completely, scattering in every direction. They didn't need to be pursued, the fear had already done the job. Each alien soldier fled, not just from the battlefield, but from the very idea of ever facing a human again. The sniper didn't need to fire another shot. They had accomplished what they set out to do. This battle had never been about the number of kills or the territory gained, it was about sending a message. A message that humanity, despite being new to the galactic stage, was not a race to be underestimated. The aliens had come with superior numbers, advanced technology, and overwhelming arrogance. But now, they were leaving with the knowledge that humans were something far more dangerous than they had ever imagined. As the last of the alien forces retreated, their ships lifting off and vanishing into the sky, the sniper calmly packed up their gear. The mission was complete. There would be no more fighting today. But the legend of what had occurred on this battlefield would spread, not just among the survivors, but throughout the galaxy. Stories of the human sniper, the ghost who struck from the shadows and dismantled entire armies, would grow in the telling. Over time, the tales would become myth, and humans would be feared not for their numbers or their technology, but for their sheer will and cunning. In the quiet aftermath, the sniper disappeared into the landscape, just as they had appeared, silent, methodical, and unseen. The aliens would never forget what had happened here. They would speak of it in hushed tones, passing down the story of the sniper from generation to generation. And with each retelling, the fear of humanity would deepen, ensuring that no alien race would ever make the mistake of underestimating them again.